Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I guess it's time for my PetSafe Guardian review.
It costs about $600 as I'm filming, and it doesn't need a subscription. The link in the description will take you to the best price that I know of. In the world of SpotOn and Halo, does this fill a much needed gap in the GPS dog fence market? And is it the right fit for you and your dog? Let's find out. Inside the box, you have the collar and the GPS base. Then there's a rechargeable, removable battery, a wall charger that can handle 2 batteries simultaneously, extra static correction prongs, power adapter for the base, and the hardware for mounting it. Here's the collar, long and crazy adjustable. It doesn't win any beauty contests against SpotOn or Halo though. It doesn't seem like a cozy fit either, but we'll test that soon. If you skipped my deep dive unboxing and first impressions video, no worries, the link to that one's in the description for you. Setting this thing up was fairly easy. I was done in 15 minutes flat. If you're thinking of going pro and mounting the base to your wall, which you should, that could be a slightly different ballgame. It might take you an hour or more, especially if you're not Bob the Builder. Then all you need to do is scan the QR code, download the app, and boom, just follow what your screen tells you. Smooth sailing, no hitches. You know how every brand has their own snazzy name for GPS tech? Like Halo brags about the precision GPS, and SpotOn has true location. PetSafe's throwing their hat in the ring with AccuGuard, not to be confused with AquaGuard, which I think could be a great name for a water purifier or something like that. Anyway, they claim it's the most reliable GPS fencing tech out there. Bold words. We'll be the judge of that in just a second. So what is it exactly? It mixes GPS data with real-time pooch tracking for fewer false alarms. It'll buzz your dog if he's zooming too fast toward the edge or hanging out near the boundary too long. Pretty by the book, honestly. We'll see how these features actually perform in a little bit. When it comes to the app, it's user-friendly but kind of basic. Quick peeks at the collar battery and correction settings, check. But if you're looking for in-app training guides, tough luck. You'll have to hit the PetSafe website and hunt down a training manual there. Trust me, just stick with the old school paper guide that comes in the box. Sketching out a fence took me mere seconds. The interface is neat, but it isn't intuitive enough to guide you to editing the fence. That you'll find in the settings. And what about zooming in to drop fence posts with pinpoint accuracy? Yeah, it can do that, but so can its competitors. Editing the fence becomes a breeze once you stumble upon that customization screen. And a heads up, it looks like the base station doesn't have to be inside your fence. I gave that a test just to be sure. Here's the thing, this collar doesn't actually map or follow your dog's every step. And just like SpotOn, you don't need to shake the collar for better GPS reception. As for the boundary alerts, I have turned the static correction on. By default it is off, and by turning it on, it is at the default setting of 1. All right, so there's the warning. I'm gonna continue on and see the static correction. Yep, oh, and you can feel it. It's actually sort of pretty gentle, I would say. It's making my neck sort of pulsate in an interesting way. It doesn't hurt at all. It's more sort of stimulating my neck muscles, which is very, very strange feeling. So now I have the static correction set to level 3. It does go to a maximum of 10, but I don't want to kill myself here. Honestly, I don't even want to do this, but someone has to do this for the dogs to make sure it's not too bad. So here we go. Let's see. Here goes nothing. Approaching the boundary. There's the alert. Continuing on. Yep. I think that even at the lowest setting, there's definitely a chance that your dog's going to feel it without any pain, which I really like. I'd say this is absolutely the most gentle invisible fence collar that I've used when it comes to the static correction. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it a sprint, but run as fast as I can towards the boundary and see how accurately it gives us that distinct warning and followed by, correction. See if I can basically stop before correcting me. So it looks like it did actually do a pretty good job. Ooh, and now it's correcting and now it's nothing. Now, if you do linger, it does switch over to correction. So let's see if that happens here. And so it switched over to correction now. So let's enter back into the safe zone. I noticed that the static and warning tone peace out 15 seconds after you cross the boundary and stay outside the fence. That's for your pup's safety. If you want the full boundary run through, I'll drop that in a separate video, so keep an eye out. Points for gentle static, but let's be real, the collar isn't winning any comfort awards. There's plenty of length with fastener holes all the way down the line. Feel free to chop off that extra if you're into that. It wears like any old collar, no bespoke fitting needed. It's a double-edged sword, I guess. And about its weight, it's noticeably hefty. I was skeptical about its comfort, so naturally I tied myself to a tree. That's really uncomfortable. Let's see if I turn that to the side. Okay, I'm trying here. Yeah,
it's not so comfortable. And it's obviously not designed to be used with a leash, so keep that in mind. But let's see how much I can really put. Honestly, I don't even know how much I can put on this to test its durability because it just hurts. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that.
Nearly choked myself there. So yeah, you're welcome. But hey, it survived the shower.
Let's make sure it gets nice and wet, shall we?
Then I went through another boundary test and no sign of water damage. Fully charged and an hour and a half of tests later, it was still going strong. 3 bars in all. But don't expect a percentage, it's a bars only kind of show. And even 4 full days later, we still had a bar of battery life left. Of course, heavy usage will probably drain it a bit more. Alright, let's talk numbers. It's just about $600 as of now, and you're good to go. There's no subscriptions involved. By contrast, if we look at the Halo 3 collar, that's about $700 right now, plus a membership plan that'll run you between about $6 to $30. No subscription, no service. On the premium end, SpotOn takes the cake at about $1,300 as I'm filming. It'll function without a subscription, but if you want tracking and alerts, you gotta subscribe for that. So, the final word on the PetSafe Guardian? It's a no-show pony, that's for sure. Bulky collar, no tracking, no escape alerts, and just a single fence to work with. But hold on, no subscription? Check. Steady boundary line? Check. Does it alert before giving a correction? Yup. Could it do better in some spots? Absolutely. But that's a vibe we also get with Halo, and to a much less extent also with SpotOn. Bottom line, PetSafe Guardian plugs a hole in the market. It's cost effective and gets the basics right, sans any monthly fees. It's almost like the jeans and t-shirt version of a GPS dog fence. Remember to use the link in the description to get the best price on the PetSafe Guardian. I have my eyes on this and the SpotOn, and Halo's somewhere in the middle, not really stealing the spotlight from either one. I have complete comparisons in the pipeline, so hit that subscribe button. Stick around and keep those tails wagging.